Okay, good morning, everybody. And you are very welcome to IRISSCon 2018, the Irish Cybercrime Conference. You might not be aware of this, but today's a pretty auspicious day. It's the 10th year in a row that this conference has been held, which makes it the longest running security event of its kind in Ireland. I've been at every single one, so I have to know. Where's my medal, Brian? I'll quickly introduce myself. My name's Gordon Smith. I used to be a technology journalist, but I'm better now. I'm going to be your host for the day, so I have the great pleasure and privilege of introducing the speakers. And on that subject, we really have a fantastic lineup. As I said, I've been lucky enough to attend every single IRISSCon, and I think I'm not hyping it in any way to say this is one of the strongest lineups we've ever had. An absolutely stellar cast of speakers, diverse group of internationally recognized and nationally known figures in security who are going to share their experience, their knowledge and their perspective with you throughout the course of 12 talks today. Now, just to whet your appetite and give you a flavour of what to expect, you're going to hear about cybercrime trends, security awareness, advanced persistent security, lessons we can learn from the past and maybe how that can help us in the fight against cybercrime, the role of the Chief Information Security Officer, and how to help some of the most vulnerable users to stay safe online. All of that and loads more. Now, with the event taking place in November, as it always does, it's a useful jumping off point to look back at the year we've just had. Thankfully, there's been no global event so far to compare, say, to WannaCry or NotPetya during 2017, but we are only in late November, so, 5 weeks left. There's still hope. That's not to say 2018 hasn't been busy. If you cast your minds back almost 12 months ago, the year started with a bang, courtesy of the Spectre and Meltdown vulnerabilities. Recent EU figures as well tell us that 80% of European companies experienced at least one cybersecurity incident last year. And security incidents across all industries rose by 38%, which was the biggest increase in 12 years. In some EU member states, it's even estimated that cybercrime accounts for 50% of all crime. And yet, there's still some work to do, some progress to be made. NTT Security released a report recently showing that 1/3 of companies said they would rather pay criminals ransomware than invest in more security. So to use a much abused Irish political phrase, a lot done, more to do. That's definitely true of data breaches. This year we've seen some high profile data breaches at some of the world's most popular and widely used social networks and Google+. According to Gemalto, in the first half of this year, more than 4.5 billion records were compromised. That's a 133% increase on last year and a staggering 1,751% up on the first half of 2015, just 3.5 years ago. And if that's not scary enough, try this one as a figure. The total number of breached records equates to 291 every second. Did I hear somebody say GDPR? Actually, I should warn you, that's for anybody of a sensitive disposition, that's hopefully the only 4-letter word you're going to hear today. That gag, by the way, is my small contribution to sustainability because I recycled it from an earlier conference this year. GDPR truly is the gift that keeps on giving. Now, as well as the fantastic presentations you're going to be hearing right here in this room, we've also got Hack Era, the annual Capture the Flag event, which is taking place in the next room. And that's run by IRISSearch, the Irish Honeynet project, and support from IBM X-Force. The teams will be competing against each other to see who'll be the first to exploit weaknesses in a system. And as always, we'll be revealing the winner of the event at the end of today's conference. I do encourage you to go and take a look next door, see what's happening, because there may be some opportunities to learn from ways in which attackers could get into systems. So, as with all parts of this conference, it's a great opportunity to learn. There's also a lock-picking table. This proved to be a very popular part in conferences past, and we're delighted that that's making a return as well. So there'll be some locks from TOG Dublin, the community hackerspace lock-picking group. The organisers are encouraging you to swing by and maybe try some lock-picking out for yourself, see how that goes. Now, to the housekeeping rules, do please turn your phones to silent out of respect for the speakers. You can, of course, follow the conference, and we encourage you to do that. Comment on Twitter by all means using the hashtag IRISSCon. You may also have noticed the video cameras as well. Cooper, as he did last year, is going to be recording all of the talks, so they will be available on YouTube within a short time frame after the conference. So if there's anything you'd like to recap on, that's definitely a really useful resource. It was great to be able to check back on those last year as well. Also, do please visit our sponsors. It's thanks to their support that this event is able to take place, and they also support the work of IRISSCon right throughout the year. You'll have seen their stands out in the foyer, so do please, during the coffee breaks, show them your support, pay them a visit. I'll name them in alphabetical order. It's Amazon, BH Consulting, ComSec, the IE Domain Registry, Integrity 360, Salesforce, and Technology Ireland ICT SkillNet. So earlier this month, I was lucky enough to be at a presentation by Kieran Martin, the head of the UK National Cybersecurity Centre. And one of his comments really struck me. He talked about how it was important to de-glamorise cybersecurity and to replace fear-mongering with evidence-based risk assessment. Those words struck me as very appropriate in the run-up to this conference, because for the past 10 years, it's been doing exactly that. It's independent, fantastic speakers, and there's no vendor sales pitches masquerading as presentations. It truly is all killer, no filler. So with that, I'll open the conference by welcoming our first speaker. If by some miracle you don't know him, think of it as this. He's much of the reason why you're sitting here today. Over a decade ago, he helped to found IRISSCon. He's one of Ireland's most respected and well-known information security professionals. And here to take us through a review of the year from the perspective of IRIS, please welcome Brian Honan.